Hey, Zach, thanks for taking the time to talk to my class and YouTube, if you will. You're a recent grad of a few months ago, and you're out working in the industry, so I thought it would be a good time to just, since you're a recent graduate, ask you some questions. So thanks for taking the time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And if you don't mind, maybe just starting by introducing yourself. Who are you? Why'd you go to Rankin? When'd you graduate? And where you working? How about that?
All right. So my name is Zachary Seger. I'm from here, south of St. Louis. I came to Rankin like because I wanted to do software and I wanted to do work in a way that I wasn't being presented at different schools, and a lot of the hands-on stuff at Rankin was what drew me to it. Uh, Then I just once I was there, like I got into it and it seemed like a great track to go with. I have been to a lot of colleges and I have not liked a lot of them, but Rankin was one I really did like. And being that you could get the software degree in 2 years rather than four, that was a big one for me as well. After I graduated, well, I got an internship working where I'm at now. It's called DCSC Incorporated. Basically, we make so we bought software and we edit and create our own version of the software that you use for like your back end warehouse type business style areas where uh, boxes of materials have to be moved and shipped, and all the stuff that Walmart does behind the scenes is kind of the software that we write. I'm not. We work for different companies like wholesalers and just manufacturers and anybody with a warehouse who needs an automated system rather than having like basically a couple managers doing everything that the computer could do on its own.
Yeah. So you're in your car. I understand you're at work now. You just kind of came out into the car to kind of have a just a private space, I guess.
Yeah, so our office is kind of like it's super open. Everybody's got their doors open, and I just wanted an area where we want like you can hear everything through the walls.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just probably the better place
Yeah.
to come out here.
Yeah. No, that's good. And I know a lot of corporate environments are big and open and collaborative, and so you just wanted a quiet space. So what's your job title?
Software developer.
Software developer. Nice. And this was basically an internship that went full time upon graduation.
Yeah, so I graduated and I guess I started full time technically on like the first of the year, but it was directly from that internship. Yeah.
Nice. And what languages kind of are you writing in on a daily basis?
Oh boy, I write Visual Basic 6 and sometimes I write in C sharp, but I a lot of what I've been doing is learning about like the older languages and SQL. I do a lot of SQL inside of the VB6 because all of this stuff that we write and run has been working the way it works for like 30 years, and they just kind of up. If you look at like your CMD in your computer, that's kind of where a lot of our programs lie, like at that level. There is no GUI for a lot of stuff, but it like they say, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So
Yeah. So you find yourself kind of supporting a little bit of older software.
yeah,
Yeah, in the first job out of school, which is totally, a great way to kind of, gain that experience. So,
yeah,
um,
that's what I. Sorry.
no, go ahead. Can you kind of talk a little bit more about what maybe the university wasn't working out for you? You tried some different schools, and then how Rankin was different.
Yeah, I think that when I was it's almost like I needed somebody to be like, "Hey, do your work." Like, "Hey, like sit down and stop goofing around all day and being in the class for 4 hours and just like disciplining myself. Like you have to like you have to wear, your uniform every day. You have to show up on time. You can't just leave in the middle of class. Like there's rules, like discipline type rules that I wasn't following in my own life that Rankin had set up. And with the work ethic system that you guys have, I think it helps people get ready for real life more than just throwing a kid who has grown up in a spoiled environment into an area where he can do whatever and anything he wants, because that leads you down. And there's not there's so many bad paths that you can go down when you're at university compared to Rankin. It's kind of like everybody's stock and file in a line, and that's almost a good thing, or it is a good thing.
Yeah. So you like the structure and the accountability of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So why'd you get into software development industry?
Well, I wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to build planes, and then I didn't like aerospace because of all the math, and I went back and forth between. At one point, like I was taking religious studies, but I couldn't find anything that, like, I felt like this is my calling, like this is what it. And finally, like, I kind of sat back and said, well, what am I good at that I've done that I don't mind doing? And it was software. And then once I put heart into it, and once I actually tried really well, I became a lot better than I ever really thought I could at it.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of have like an engineer kind of mindset. I think you've shown me some projects along the way, some of the things you've kind of built on the side, and some of the projects you've had. So I remember that as when you were a student, some of the projects you would say, "Hey, check this out. I programmed with, whether it's a Raspberry Pi or, I tinkered with this and I built this automated system." So it seemed like that was kind of a passion project kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's a day in your life like now as far as the software development industry is concerned? When do you go to work and what's your work like?
So I work up on the hill next above the Carnivore restaurant, if you know where that is. It's right by Charlie Gito's down the road on Shaw.
Okay.
And it's called the Fair Mercantile Building, actually, that we work in. But anyways, I get up at 6:30 to 7, and then I drive here. I start at 8, and when I get to work, we're a really small company. We have 8 employees. And so I work directly under our senior developer. And so I get in and work on fiddling stuff for the first 30 minutes. And then we kind of meet and talk about what are we working on now? Are we testing this, or does this need to be fixed, and what we're going to do in the future? And it's just it's not like a meeting. It's more informal. Just he comes to my office and has a seat and we talk. And I mainly I kind of do I do a lot of testing for the product. What Ray, my boss, will do an edit, and then I will test it and document the testing, showing that we changed something or that we updated something because a user or one of the companies wants a update. And I just lost track of what I was saying.
Well, you were just walking us through your day, and kind of you come in and you have a meeting, and then you just basically get to work.
Oh yeah, so we get to work, and it's either a lot of testing, a lot of updating / editing, and then a lot of me just learning how does this problem work? How because there's 1,000 programs. So a lot of what I spent in the beginning, especially, was just reading and doing small edits, to try to learn about what we're doing because it's so big.
Yeah. So, other than your little meeting, you're pretty much spending your entire day in code. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. But like I said, sometimes I'm writing code, sometimes I'm testing. When I'm testing, I'm not really doing it's not coding. It's more like run the program like an operator
Right.
and see how it works.
Sure.
And then yeah, I get off at 4, so it's pretty good. I start early 12.
Cool. So, as a recent graduate, two-part question: what was your favorite class, and what was your least favorite class?
Least favorite class was Java,
You knew that
and
quickly.
and my favorite class was the full stack.
The JavaScript full stack class.
The
Okay.
fourth, the, the third semester.
Cool. Cool. What made it your favorite, and what made it your least favorite? By the way, the Java is no longer, so you've already made that change. But what made the JavaScript your favorite class? The third semester.
I liked that because I was able to like build something and prove to myself that I could build something on the level like that. I believed I needed to be able to program it to do what I want to do. Like I wanted to be able like that bug tester map that we created to be like you can use this for bug tester, sure, but you can also
Hey Zach. Hey Zach. Could you maybe speak a little closer to the phone? I think your microphone's going in and out a little bit.
yeah. Is this better?
That's better. Thanks. We get a little closer. Zoom up. I appreciate that.
What was I saying now?
Your favorite semester was third semester because you got to build some software that was what, real world. It seemed realistic.
Yeah, it just like it seemed like it was like okay, this is something like it wasn't a little project to me. It was like this is a big deal type of thing that like if I want to be the entrepreneur I say I want to be, like this is something that I feel like I need to be able to write and understand.
Yeah.
And that was the big part for me. The thing I didn't like about Java was I don't like the way that Java's written.
Okay. So yeah, just an older language you didn't like very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So you're kind of sitting here, and I think a lot of students would probably want to be in your shoes, in the sense that you got an internship while you were in school, and right after graduation or right after you got done with school, you transitioned into full time. So, what advice would you give to kind of follow in your footsteps there?
Um, like I know it doesn't seem like this is the thing that's going to get you the internship or this is the thing that's going to get you the job, but I think that working your hardest and doing your best on all of the programming is gonna get you what you want because what you think you want is a job real fast, but what you really want is a job where you understand what you're doing and you can be good at it.
Yeah, you might be pretty miserable otherwise, huh?
Yeah, I know plenty of people who hate their jobs, and like my job feels easy to me. Like that's what Rankin I think I got out of Rankin was I like realized, okay, well, if I work really, really hard at this and I totally understand it, then my job shouldn't be that difficult.
Very cool. Very cool. I think it's a good piece of advice. All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for taking the time. I just wanted to kind of chat with you for 10 or 15 minutes, and I guess the last thing to do is open it up to the class and see what questions they might have.
Where did you have an internship at?
What was the name of your company that you're working for, and you had an internship there?
It's called DCSC Inc.
And I think they were at either the job fair. Does that sound right? Were they at the job fair?
Yeah, so after the job fair got over, actually, Kirsten came in and talked to the class, and like I had resume. Oh, that's another thing. If you want to add the things for advice, is just be ready. Oh, be ready and on time, because that was like part of like I wasn't out of resumes. I could say my name. I have my resume, and I gave it to her. Like, what if I didn't have a resume? What if I wasn't prepared?
Yeah, so that's a good point. So it was a job fair day. The employer actually showed up in our classroom and was collecting resumes that day. You were prepared. You had your resume. You were good to go, and landed an internship from it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so be prepared always, but especially be prepared on the days of the job fair.
Sure.
Yeah. Any other tips of advice or anything else you'd say to like beginner Zach like 2 years ago? Like,
It will be worth it.
okay,
Like it's worth it in the end for sure.
cool. Hey man, thanks for taking the time. Any other questions from the class for Zach? They're feverishly working on their final project right now.
I actually.
Yeah.
How often does he use Link or SQL outside?
Okay, so how often do you use SQL and or Link?
SQL probably like depending on the week every day.
Every day?
But yeah, probably. But and it's because like you could put full stack in front of software developer. We have access, like we have a database table access for SQL, that's connected to a command line program, which is also connected to it's like all of it. And that's
You're really in and out right now, Zach. I'm not sure if it's a bad connection or a bad microphone or something.
Yeah, it's probably my phone microphone. It's not the greatest.
That's okay. That's okay. Sorry, yeah, I was just really having a hard time understanding it. I know if I am, I imagine everyone else is too. But in short, every day. The question, how often are you using SQL or Link? And I think your answer is pretty much every day.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Any other questions for Zach? Recent grad of December. In fact, are you going to be at graduation? I know some of the guys are going to be walking.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. I think there's a little graduation party. Reach out to Josh. He's having a little graduation party. I'm sure you're more than welcome.
Sweet.
Cool. All right, man. Congrats on the entry-level job and the first job, I should say. I don't know that it's entry-level, but congrats on the first job and best of luck in the industry.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you
man.
for everything.
Nice chatting with you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.